folks, how we doing? So I'm just going to come to you today with a short video. This is all about goal setting, hopefully help with motivation, definitely going to help with cementing in a better habit and routine to get us to that goal. So over the past few months we've been discussing about the big overall goal where everybody wants to hit, and that is different for everyone. And then we've also looked at individual goals, mini goals, targets if you like, that's going to get us to there. They're the stepping stones to get to that big one. So if you think about the big one too much, it can be a wee bit overwhelming, overpowering, we think that's too far in advance, I'm never getting there. But if we do these wee small ones, we know that that ladder and that distance gets shorter and shorter. It's about closing the gap, okay? So now that we've done that, I've then came across this in my studies. Now what we've done is perfect, but this is going to help us cement those small, achievable and manageable goals, maybe a wee bit more into a routine, because I think that's something that we need to look in it as well. So, on my studies came across this chap called Charles Duhigg, or Duhigg, I don't really know if I'm pronouncing his second name right, but he created this book called The Power of Habit. And in that he's discussed this habit loop, and this is a model that we're going to look at and have a wee chat about today. And this is a habit loop that links to behaviours and routines and rituals, and how we then change our mindset or change our actions into helping us get to that goal that we're wanting to achieve. Okay, so this is why I think this would be quite beneficial for us, and why I'm doing this video for you just now, so that we can then start thinking about this habit loop and incorporating it into those small mini goals that we've already set out. Or maybe look at them again and think, are they the same? Do I need to change some of these mini goals now? But by thinking about this habit loop, then that should help cement those small mini goals a wee bit further, and hopefully give us that confidence, but also another tool in our toolkit to help us narrow that path and channel that tunnel vision slightly, so that we're achieving those goals on a consistent basis to overall get to that big massive goal that we're all wanting to achieve. So in this habit loop then, it breaks it down into 3 stages. So the first stage is cue. Okay, so this is all about signals, what cues us to do something, what instinctively makes us want to do something quickly, or not quickly but just do something. So in the setup for cue, we're thinking about a signal. Now that signal can be anything. It could be an alarm, so it could be a sound, it could be a noise, it could be a smell, it could be an environment, it could be a time of the day. You know, when you're at school and that bell goes bing, what does that mean? Offski, right? So that is the signal to tell us pack up, walk out and don't look back, go away and have fun for the rest of the day, right? So whatever that signal is might change person to person. It might also change goal to goal, depending on what the goal is. We maybe need to create a different signal. So more often than not, we all kind of run with an alarm to get us up in the morning. So that's a signal, that's a noise, sound signal to say get up out your bed, you've got stuff to do, you need to get on with it. Now, as humans, we're all governed by a lot of habits and rituals and routines on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes we realise, sometimes we don't realise. A lot of that can be second nature now. And that's where we're now looking at the second point, which is routine, okay? So once we hear that cue, that signal, that triggers us to do something. So what is that something? And this is where it's probably going to be important for us to all have a wee look in at. Is thinking about your routine on a day-to-day level, okay? If you've got X, Y and Z goals, say you've got 3 mini goals that you want to try and achieve, is your current routine, habit, day-to-day functioning setting you up to achieve those wee goals? Now it might, and it might not. So this is where I want you to have a wee look and see what routine could you bring in that's going to be more positive and more suitable to help you navigate into being success, because we all know once we hit those wee successes, however small they are, it's a win. It's a win. It's a win forward. It's a win to that big goal, and that's what we want to achieve. Alright? So the habit is this pattern of behaviour that you go through once you hear that cue. Sometimes it might be second nature, sometimes we might be doing things just, and we're still thinking about our old self that didn't have these goals, and that day-to-day function is fine. But if we've got these goals, then we're always kind of missing that, and then we might feel a wee bit down or low about ourselves and go, how come I'm not achieving this? But if we're not changing our action, if we're not changing our routine with a signal to help us cement it all in, so that we're creating think about wee memory dings, light bulb moments along the way. That's what this habit loop's all about. And then finally, we're looking at reward in this habit loop, okay? And now reward, this is a good part, right? This is a thing that we're striving to do, which is why we're achieving it. So it's something desirable for you that you want to happen by participating in that said routine, by that said response, by that said cue signal. So this is where the motivation part kicks in, because if you do those small wee wins and get that nice response afterwards, whether it is rewarding yourself with, you know, a cake or something afterwards, not too often. If it's the feeling of, I feel dead good about myself because I achieved that. I didn't think I would, but I managed to do it today because I haven't done it in 4 weeks, but I've done it today. That is the small wins that we want. And see that reward should tie into the whole habit loop, where we're linking in that routine with that cue to give you this final response, okay? And that's really the buy-in part to why you're doing the cue and doing the routine, is because then you're going to achieve that small mini goal, okay? So as I said, it could be anything, like, you know, an example could be when kids are away in their bed, it's 8 o'clock, you've finished your dinner, everything's done for the day. That may be when you think, oh, I'm going to have a wee treat for myself, and that's fine. But if your goal is to try and lose a wee bit of weight and feel a wee bit fitter and cut down on the sugar, and that reward is always a nice chocolate cake, then maybe we need to change that to a Friday, but in between you could have some sort of, you know, healthier, still getting that sugar, but it could be low sugar stuff. It could be some of our protein shakes that are nice as well and tasty. It could be having some fruit at that point as well to trigger that response. And why? Because at the end of that reward, you've got your kind of sugary sweet treat feeling, but you've also known that you've done another wee step closer towards that goal that's going to make you feel good. Okay, what makes Friday different, and trying to tie it in maybe with something like that. So hopefully that's helped a wee bit more folks to understand this habit loop theory. We've got 3 points, we've got cue, we've got routine, and we've got reward. And we have our mini goals, and this habit loop is to try and help us bring in and build up a better kind of link and understanding with those mini goals that we've got. So now it's over to you. I want you to have a wee look at your mini goals. Obviously I'm here, speak to me, engage, and we can have a chat and see if you know, a certain routine or response or a cue might be better for whatever goal it is. But have a wee look and see what routine could you bring in, okay? If it's, you know, set in, alarm goes, first thing I do, down a pint of water. There we go. That's an easy routine to bring in. If you think out of 1 to 10, closer to 9 and 10 you can achieve it, then let's bring it in. If you think something's maybe 6 or 7, you might do it some days, maybe not all days, then maybe that's not quite the routine that we're ready for. Doesn't mean we can't get to that routine, just means we're back to this ladder, we've maybe got a few more building blocks before we get to that routine. Okay, so hope this video has helped. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll speak to you all soon.